So I think that already we have discussed about the basic information about the different types of motions. Also we have seen that what do we understand by the term circular motion, what is uniform circular motion also. One important thing about uniform circular motion is that in a museum, the magnitude of velocity does not change. Important point. In museum, the magnitude of velocity does not change, but there is change in the direction of velocity. Okay? That's why uniform circular motion is treated as accelerated motion. What do we understand the important points of about UCM? That UCM in which the magnitude of velocity does not change, but the direction of velocity goes to changes. It means that UCM have accelerated motion, okay, in which, and it can be explained with the help of Newton's second law. It can be explained with the help of Newton's second law. In this law, there is a force which is acting on an object, or there is a force which is acting on a particle, because of which it comes under action, it comes under the motion. So let us consider that according to Newton's second law, that is nothing but force is nothing but mass into acceleration. Force is nothing but, according to Newton's second law, force is nothing but mass into acceleration. Mathematically can be written as F is equal to m into A, where here m is the mass, A is the acceleration, and this acceleration that already we have studied in previous standard, that A is equal to R omega square. That we have studied. That's why it can also be written as F is equal to m R omega square with symbol negative. Why negative symbol is there? Because whenever a force is acting on a particle, or whenever a force is acting on an object, then at that time we take our hand first to the reverse direction. If we are throwing a ball in the forward direction, but during this process, before throwing the ball, we take our hand in the backward direction. So this negative sign indicates that force is acting in opposite direction. Can also be written as Rf is equal to minus mv square by r. F is equal to minus mv square by r. And this force, it is generally acting along the radius. This force in UCM, it is acting along the radius, and it is acting also towards the center. That's why whenever a force is acting along radius, whenever a force is acting towards the center, that's why it is called as centripetal force. It is called as centripetal force. The name itself tells us that what do we understand by the term centripetal force? The force which is acting towards the center along the radius, it is called as centripetal force. About centripetal force, it is said that it is a real force. Centripetal force, it is a real force. It has its physical existence. Centripetal force have its physical existence. Generally, it helps to maintain uniform circular motion. What is the another important point? That centripetal force, it is a real force. It has physical existence and it helps to maintain uniform circular motion. Okay. Now, how we say that centripetal force is acting? We know that electrons generally revolves around the nucleus of an atom. We are well familiar that electrons generally revolves around the nucleus of an atom. So what happening here? Whenever electrons revolves around the nucleus of an atom, at that time there is somewhere the negatively charged electrons revolves around the positively charged nucleus. The best example of centripetal force. Another example of centripetal force, that moon revolves around the earth. What is happening here? The moon is revolving around the earth. It means there is a gravitational force of attraction between the moon and the earth. Your best example about centripetal force. It is said that whenever a frictionless, well-polished flow, whenever a frictionless, well-polished flow rotates vertically above a horizontal surface. Listen very carefully. There is a frictionless, well-polished flow on which is kept on a horizontal surface. And if you and your friend resides on a polished flow and it starts revolving, what happens? You and your friend will experience a mysterious force. You and your friend experience mysterious force that you and your friend are just outwarding. They experience some amount of outward force. To understand this, let us consider the best example, that passengers which are moving by bus, and if the bus is taking a turn to the left side, at that time passenger, they move in opposite direction. It means why we are experiencing some amount of mysterious force, some amount of outward force. This force is nothing but it is called as centrifugal force. This force is called as centrifugal force. What do we understand by centrifugal force? The force which is acting along radius. The force which is acting along radius, but it is directed away from the center. It is directed away from the center. Then it is called as centrifugal centrifugal force. This force is, what is its importance? This is nothing but it is an imaginary force. What do we understand by centrifugal force? It is an imaginary force. That's why it is also called as pseudo force. Here P is the silent. P is silent. Pseudo force, that is another form, imaginary force. In centrifugal force, according to Newton's second law, we can write F is equal to, already we have in centripetal force, F is equal to, that is, force is nothing but mass into acceleration, or F is equal to M. We are well familiar about acceleration, that is M R omega square, positive symbol, or F is equal to M V square by R. Why positive? Because it is acting or it is directed away from the center. And what about centripetal force? It is acting or directed towards the center. This is the difference. Okay. Frames of references also plays an important role in centripetal and in centrifugal force. Frames of references. Okay. Frames of references. There are two types of frames of references. There are two types of frames of references. One is called as inertial frame of reference. One is called as inertial frame of reference. Another one is called as non-inertial frame of reference. Inertial frame of reference, the frame of reference which is moving with respect to Earth's surface. The objects, the particles which are in motion with respect to Earth's surface. It is called as inertial frame of reference. Non-inertial frame of reference, the frame of reference which are accelerated there. Non-inertial frame of reference which are accelerated there, Earth's surface. It is called as non-inertial frame of reference. It is called as non-inertial frame of reference. Okay. Now, what are the applications of uniform circular motion? We have discussed that uniform circular motion in which magnitude of velocity does not change. Okay, but the direction of an object, the direction of particle is changes. That's why you see it have accelerated motion. And according to Newton's second law, there is a force. Somewhere there is a force due to which the objects are accelerating, and that force is nothing but, according to Newton's second law, mass into acceleration, that is m into a, or F is equal to a, that is we already studied, r omega square, or also a is equal to v square by r. So it becomes minus m r omega square minus mv square by r. Why negative symbol? Because the force is acting in opposite direction. What are its importance? You see, it is real force. Okay, it has its physical existence, and it is the force which is directed towards the center, and it is the force which is acting along the radius. That's why it is called as centripetal force. Examples: electrons revolving around the nucleus of an atom. Okay, it means there is a electrostatic force of attraction between negative charge electron, positive charge nucleus. Also, moon revolves around the earth. It means there is a gravitational force of attraction between the earth and the moon. To understand centrifugal force, let us consider that on a horizontal plane surface there is a well polished frictionless floor kept vertically. You and your friend are on it, and when the floor starts moving, at that time you and your friend will experience some amount of force that is called as outward force. Such outward force also takes place in case of passengers moving by bus. When the bus takes a turn to the left side, at that time passengers move in the outward direction. Such type of force is called as centrifugal force, that is imaginary force. That's why it is called as pseudo force. Okay. And here frames of references plays an important role. Frames of reference, there are two types. One is inertial frame of reference, another is non-inertial frame of reference. Inertial frame of reference, the frame of reference which is moving with respect to Earth's surface. Non-inertial frame of reference which is accelerated than Earth's surface. What are the applications of UCM? Where we apply it? To understand it, let us consider the very first application of UCM. Now, applications. The very first application that is called as or termed as vehicles along a horizontal surface. The very first application, that vehicles along a horizontal surface. Let us consider a horizontal surface. To understand this, first of all, let us consider a horizontal surface on which a car stood on a horizontal surface. Whenever a car stood on a horizontal surface, what we are observing in the diagram? We observe that generally the car rests on the Earth's surface. It means at that time the forces acting on the horizontal surfaces are first, it's a weight acting vertically downward. Okay, first of all, it's a weight acting vertically downward. Second point, and the normal reaction. The normal reaction, that is N, it balances the weight, that is equal to mg. And the normal reaction, and generally it balances the weight. Okay. Number third point, a car moving on the Earth's surface, at that time somewhere there is a friction, but here the friction takes place is called as static friction. Why? Because the car stood on Earth's surface. So here static friction also plays important role, that is represented by the factor Fs. A car stood on the Earth's surface, it means there is some friction occurs here. That friction is called as static friction, represented by the factor Fs. Let us consider mathematically we can represent it in this way, that the normal component, that is N is equal to mg. Equation number first. M with the mass of an object, g with the acceleration due to gravity. Second point, the static friction, that is Fs is equal to mr omega square. How it is mr omega square? We are well familiar. Just we have seen in centripetal and centrifugal force. F Force. What is force? Mass into acceleration. Acceleration v to omega or r omega square. So force, static friction Fs is equal to m r omega square. Equation number 2. Dividing equation 2 by 1, what we get? Dividing equation 2 by 1. Equation 2 static friction Fs. Equation 1 normal reaction, and put the values, that is mr omega square upon mg. Okay, so here mm gets cancelled. What remains? That is r omega square upon g. Okay, can also written as, we know that Rfs upon n is equal to this equation, that is v is equal to r omega. We can write it in this way, that is r omega into omega upon g. So what we can write here, that is Fs upon n is equal to, this is v omega upon g. Okay, this static friction, if the speed of car is increases, if the speed of car increases, then at that time friction also increases, and that is represented by the factor µs, called as coefficient of static friction, is equal to Vw upon g. Okay, so here, that is, we can write that. Another point, remind it once again, what happens here? Dividing equation 2 by 1. Equation 1, n is equal to mg. Equation 2, Fs is equal to mr omega square, or Fs is equal to mv square by r. Equation, another equation 2, we can write it in this way also. Okay, what we have written there, dividing equation 2 by 1. So Fs upon m, mr omega square upon mg, or mv square by r. We can write it in this way also. Another one, in another sense, that is mv square by r. This n is